Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this year's first Jumpstart Series webinar. Let's go ahead and wait a few minutes until, let's say, until 2:05 in the next 3 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and start while everybody jumps on the call. Thank you for coming and being on this first call this year. This is going to be a great call. That you can learn some really neat things that you can do with ScoreCEO to go ahead and enhance your onboarding capabilities and your marketing capabilities. We'll go into that in a minute. Thank you. Jasmine, are we recording?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, once again, good afternoon, and thank you for waiting for us to start this webinar today, and welcome back after a long couple of months that we haven't had a webinar. But this is the first webinar of the year, and we'll be discussing how to turn leads into clients, right? And do it in a compliant way, which we started to talk about on a few calls last year. And this is going to take us a different approach to it. We basically took a feature in ScoreCEO, which were the banners, and we used that to implement a compliant telemarketing sales role. A compliant tool that that helps you not bind yourself to the egregious wait periods to start charging your customers by implementing an unattended onboarding process while helping them in different ways. And we're going to go into a case study on this call as well, and we'll demo that, as well as talking about other things that you can use the banners to do as well. Where one legal housekeeping issue: we are not attorneys, so any opinions or regulators, so any opinions or regulation opinions that I or anybody on this call from ScoreCEO may express, it's all for educational purposes. We're well aware of what we can do or say, but this is our legal disclaimer, right? On the call today, we've got Jasmine Burgos and Almas Tariq. Jasmine you've all spoken to Jasmine. She's been with us since we started ScoreInc.com, and she's currently the customer service manager. Myself and Almas Tariq. Almas is our marketing coordinator, and she does a lot of the blogs the intense blogs that you guys have seen on our website. Very complete. But she also helps us with these presentations as well. So we might call on her. She may be interacting with you in the chat, posting links to share time or book time with Jasmine on calls. And you might want to do that, and she'll share those links with you. If you don't have them in front of you, she'll share them with you on the chat. Ladies, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone.
I think has Almas joined? I don't know if she's joined or not.
Yeah, she's here. I probably have to check to make sure that I give her the ability to speak. I don't think I have.
Okay, she raised her hand. She raised her hand. That's good enough.
Yeah, she was not able to unmute, but now I made her presenter also so she can speak.
Awesome. So last year we had a few TSR webinars. You may want to refer to those recordings. So if wherever we have those recordings, Almas, you may want to put those links either in the chat or in an email to send to everybody who's was invited or attended the call. Because that would be a great reference tool for you to take a look at that. We specifically use banners to create a process. And then we took our customers and partners, we call them, right? They went ahead and a lot of them asked for help, which we extended an olive branch, and quite a few of you, we implemented some of these TSR workflows for you within your lead and customer portals. So, and what we did was we basically created some HTML process flows that can be placed into the banner area to customize the look and feel of your page. And that took a bit of a spin with a few of you. And there's one customer that stands out, that's Elevate My Scores, and we'll go ahead into a case study that we did with Elevate My Scores. But fundamentally, what we did was we took the banner area and we paired it up with the websites so that you can have a landing page basically that a customer selects basically a plan, and they send they're added to ScoreCEO, which starts a campaign that sends the activation email so that they can go ahead and start and open up their portal, whether they're a lead or a customer, which that's being a lead and having a portal is unique to ScoreCEO. They can go and set up their passwords. At that time, they also accept the end user agreements, and they also subscribe and opt in to the different types of marketing endeavors that you can use in ScoreCEO to promote to your customers. So that's a really important step, right? But more importantly, inside the portal, we started customizing the banner area, and at which we have a lot of code that we can give to you if you want to implement any of these. We can give you the code that we've already developed. But basically, leads subscribe to credit monitoring. They go ahead and the CRO sends them an audit report once they have the credit monitoring access. They send a contract to them so that the customer signs the agreement, and then the lead provides their credit card information, and the lead can schedule the onboarding call. But after they've selected the plan, which they do on the website, and they have signed the agreement and provided valuable consideration, which is providing the credit card, the form of payment, even if you don't take or charge the customer, and you promise that you should be promising that to your customer during that process. And when you're speaking or touching them either through email or chat, then they can at any point in time schedule the onboarding call. You could schedule that onboarding call or just flat out call them after they've complied, which are this step, selecting the plan, the contract step, and providing the credit card. Once they've done those three things, that lead is fair game because he's selected the plan with no influence from you. He's gone ahead and signed an agreement. He's also provided the credit card information based on what he may think is the plan that he may need. That could change later on, but the fact of the matter is that he's already provided that, and therefore that lead is not a customer that will be bound to the TSR restrictions. Well, we did this with quite a few of you. Chris Bush at Elevate My Scores. We did some work with him, and we agreed with him that we would use him in a case study in the future. And we're here, Chris. So this is the future. What was the problem? Elevate My Scores wanted to streamline their process that didn't bind their leads or customers to the TSR rule. The solution was, number one, he needed to eliminate all phone numbers and references to phone numbers from any and all offline and online marketing assets. So he wasn't promoting anything that would inspire the customer to call in. And if they called in, he was pushing them towards the onboarding process in the website and explaining to them why, either through an email or through or on a phone call, a real call. He also had to internally educate himself and his team members on what not to do. I mean, though they want to, they have to really be careful about talking to the customers about selecting anything or answering questions that could profile their answers. And it was really more about pushing them towards the compliant process, which all credit repair organizations needed to follow. Had customers or companies that they thought they were quoting with or doing any type of business with, he would distinguish himself that way with that process. So he had to educate himself and the people that worked with him. What was the task? We needed to implement a third thing was to implement a TSR onboarding process that started at the website, right? Maybe even started with an inbound call that some customer found their phone number somehow and went and called him, and then they squeezed that customer or push that customer out to the website, right, to follow the TSR process. But what would the TSR process do? On the website, they would select the plan. And once they select the plan, that would trigger an email campaign, and it would automatically select the plan. Once the lead activated their portal and had access to their portal, which is an automated process in ScoreCEO, we introduced a banner area that had the ability for them to, besides having an overview of what needed to be done in a video, they also had the steps broken down into ordering the reports, or subscribing to credit monitoring, right? Signing the credit repair agreement by the CRO, sending the credit repair agreement, and entering the credit card details, which were the three crucial events for them to communicate fairly with their customers. But during that process, both on the website and off the website within ScoreCEO, and you'll see how we did that because that's another use case for us. We implemented a chat widget for him within the lead customer portal, and he had that he had already configured on his website. So that's pretty cool because now he can't talk to them on the phone or on a video chat, but he can chat with them all day. As soon as somebody hits that site, it prompts him on his end to open up and lets him know, hey, there's a customer here, and he reaches out to them through the chat widget and clears up any doubts that they may have. Okay, so let's go ahead and demo that. Let's go ahead and demo what that looks like. So bear with me. Do I have any questions till now, or is everybody following me? I can't see the screen, so somebody has to answer, Jasmine or Almas.
No questions up to now.
Okay. I'm trying to get rid of this bar from Teams. Okay, so if you've seen, and I know most of you have probably seen your own portals, right? This is probably not on your portal. It's not that we missed something, it's that he implemented this. And if you need something like this, okay, we've already got the code for this, so we can go ahead and help you do that by sending you the code, and it's literally a copy and paste and then replacing the links in it. But if you need any help, Almas, please post Jasmine's link. Schedule a call with Jasmine so she can you can assess what you need to do in this banner area over here. It has a lot of power because it controls a lot of things that you can do on the page through HTML code. Having said that, the first step in his process is, as soon as a lead comes in, they've already in order for them to get here, they had to had selected from his website a payment plan and filled out a form that sent that information to ScoreCEO, and then the form took that customer and added them to a campaign, which sends out some customized email nurturing emails that explain what they need to do next, fundamentally. Well, once they log in and they activate their portal, in the view process, there's a video that basically goes, and I'm not going to play the video, but there's a custom video that explains the whole process to them, right, and what they need to do next, right, so that they don't get desperate, right? If they want to subscribe to credit monitoring, they can see the video, or they can go ahead and set it up, and that points to a third-party partner of his, which is, in this case, is Identity IQ. Elevate My Scores uses the FICO version of Identity IQ, which is called My Score IQ. So it takes them to his referral portal. So this offer code, that is basically, it's a link attached to a component inside the HTML structure, and it forwards them to that page. So all of his customers aren't typing in My Score IQ. They're going directly to his referral site and then going ahead and subscribing to the service. He also goes ahead and they can either see a video on what happens when how they get their audit report. But fundamentally, once they enter their credit monitoring detail, which he explains to them here, it goes ahead and the next step is for them to receive a report. Well, once he has the credentials to log in ScoreCEO, he can import that report and produce a credit audit report for that customer. Once he sends that credit audit report, he'll send that to the customer whenever they choose to do so or not, or hold on to it. The customer signs their agreement, and they also just trigger that with a click of the button within ScoreCEO, right? That's, as you all know, that's literally send contract inside of ScoreCEO. Once they've selected a payment plan, which they've already selected from the website, once you already have the report, you've already sent out the audit report. Now you can go ahead and send the agreement out. And they have the ability to add their card information here. So if they want to watch the video on how to do that, or they can just hit add a card, it'll take them to the specific area in ScoreCEO that they can go ahead and add that card and add their information and update it. That's connected. This is all connected to, it's all part of ScoreCEO in one ecosystem. So that's immediately available to Chris and his team. Anytime after they've completed all of these first 4 steps, right, of the onboarding process, well, quite frankly, the customer's fair game and no longer bound to the TSR. Right. So now they can just either book a call, and if they do that, they can go to another service, a third-party service from in there, which is his Calendly page. And I think he had the free version of this, and then he upgraded to this, and now he's got one that connects to his calendar within Microsoft, I think it's with Office 365. I'm unclear on that. I don't remember. It's been a while, but fundamentally they can schedule, and this is looking at his availability on his calendar. So then comes the ID docs, and this is the last thing, because really this is a function of whether or not they're a customer or not. So that can happen at any point in time, but it doesn't bind them to TSR. After we implemented this, we went back and forth. He sent me some emails. We reviewed those emails so that he can communicate better. He made some changes in the verbiage on his website, made some improvements on that. And then he asked me if we could connect a chat widget. Well, we had our own chat widget there, right? And we said, well, why don't we try to add the HTML code to the banner area? And lo and behold, now, whenever he gets a client that logs in to their portal, he might not be paying attention to that, but his chat widget is, and he can extend an olive branch and start talking and chatting with that customer without violating the rules, and therefore binding him to the TSR for this particular customer. So what have we done? We've been able to implement a complete process, add videos, iconery, something that it's pleasing aesthetically to the customer with an organized process. They're able to order through third parties on their credit monitoring product. They're able to schedule an onboarding call with an independent calendaring tool that's connected to his Office 365 account, and they can answer any questions reactively or proactively with the chat widget at the bottom of the page, which isn't our chat widget at Score. This is the same chat widget he has on his website. Okay, so this is what we were able to do with him. I believe that has helped him tremendously. What that has done with Elevate My Scores and Chris is that he wants more, which is what I would want as well. We're about to automate a little bit more of these things, and we're already working on those things. But the fact of the matter is that you have a piece of software that can help you sustain compliance and also streamline the process in a way that is pleasing for your customers and very repetitive with his staff and himself. Okay, so the question comes to mind is, what else can we use the banner area for? Well, everything in blue is everything that we just discussed, right? We saw a credit monitor referral link with iconery. A book a call widget with, you could basically have any company. It doesn't have to be Calendly, it could be any company, right? Just as long as you have a link to that online widget. Right? A chat widget. We integrated that within the ScoreCEO lead portal for him and customer portal. And we also implemented a process with video. We've also implemented for other processes similar things as well, but we've implemented the process without video. So I encourage you to go ahead and use any links that Amos is posting into the chat and go ahead and schedule. There's no cost to talk to Jasmine, right? And she can probably share a lot of the things that she has that can help you turn leads into customers a lot quicker, because the onboarding process isn't a mystery. It doesn't have to wait for you to talk to your customer or reach out to them. They can do it on their own after hours or in the comforts of their own home. Having said that, what else can we use it for, right? Well, you can use it to refer to any partner, right? Do any of you on this call, and you can raise your hands if you want, have affiliate programs with creditbroker.com, with Smart Credit, with Identity IQ, with DisputeArmor, CreditArmor, all of these different types of partners? Do you have other offers like credit card links that you may be for secured credit cards that you're offering your customers so they can start creating positive credit, right? Things of that nature. If it's got a link, you can use it in the banner area. Mortgage partners, right? If you have a loan originator, which is your stellar guy that's giving you 20, 30, customers a month, and you want him to give you more, what better way to go ahead and take all those customers that may not have been referred to you by another mortgage referral partner, and maybe you want to use one of those mortgage brokers or loan originators to go ahead and give them the business, right? So that they can go ahead and help get those customers into their homes as well with the customers that you're already working on. You can use it to promote and link your latest blog post. You know that 95% of websites on the internet receive insignificant traffic or worthless traffic because they don't worry about SEO. That's search engine optimizations. That means that they don't worry about their keywords. Well, I guess the best way to do that is through authority blog posting and marketing, right? And the way you do that is by creating compelling and relevant content that links to other sites. And then those sites eventually link to you because your content is compelling. Well, in order for you to do that, you have to squeeze and promote your blogs and things of that nature. Well, guess what? You can do that on your banner. All right. You can also promote other social media feeds, right? Or link to your feeds like an Instagram or TikTok or something like that doesn't natively integrate with ScoreCEO like X and Facebook does. Okay, and to show you some of this, I'm going to let Jasmine go ahead and demo some of these as well. So Jasmine, if I'm going to stop sharing, if you want to go ahead and start sharing, you can go ahead and do so. But Jasmine can show you some things that she's done for some other CROs. And I want to let you know this: if it's not aesthetically pleasing, it was prepared maybe for this call, or maybe the customer didn't have that requirement. But what I can say to you is, you can get as fancy as you want. You can get as complicated as you want. Just as if it fits in the HTML area and the HTML code, it can work. Jasmine, it's up to you now.
Okay, great. Can you guys hear me well?
I can.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, but I think you need to hold on. Yeah.
Okay.
It was me.
Okay. This little thing's in the way. You guys probably don't see it, but I do. Okay. So this is one for example, if you guys have a tax preparer that you guys, refer people over to or something like that. I created a simple, just a simple banner that can send them directly to a sign-up form. So this was done by generating one of our sign-up forms, our web forms from the ScoreCEO portal. And if they, click on the little button, they fill out the form, and then this goes to right into your they're going to be in your system, but they would fill out the form, and then they would automatically be tagged with the tag that you applied to that web form. And then what this does is that those email marketings are going to go out based off of whatever they filled out. So it'll be a way for you to obtain the information, at the same way start marketing it marking it and at the same time tagging it. So that way it's a completely automated process and it happens all on its own right from the leader customer portal.
So basically what you're saying, Jasmine, is that, just to clarify there, is that you can go ahead and have a button that redirects the customer to a form that takes that form from within ScoreCEO, and you can format that as however you want to format it in the HTML code. And that automatically, even though it may be a customer or already a lead, it can automatically, because the form has an added tag to it, it can automatically tag that customer. And if you've tied a campaign to that tag, it'll start nurturing that customer with whatever you have in that campaign.
Correct. Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
awesome.
Yeah, so that's the full functioning of this one. So if they fill out this form, I have it set up to where they automatically will fall into a campaign. They'll get the opt-in email if they haven't opted in already. So if they're signed in, most likely they're already opted in, so they'll get that that information directly to them. So let me show you my next one. I just need to turn it on. Just bear with me one moment while I do that. And let me just refresh this.
While she's doing that, that's one of the disadvantages of the banner area, and we'll address that is that you can only have one active banner at any point in time. And I have something on our presentation that's going to enhance that functionality in the future. But you can continue, Jazz.
Yeah, so then the next one here that I had created was just a simple, when I have a new blog or something like that that I want to promote, it's an easy way just to drive traffic to your website. So really all they had to do is just click on the button and it will redirect them to the website with the blog. So they can start reading it, and you can have it open up in a new tab so they can keep their portal open and kind of go back and forth if they needed to. But it's a good way to help, promote and drive traffic to your website. And we have some few others. And like Joshua mentioned, we can only have one, but there's a lot of things that we can do inside of one. We can merge quite a few of the stuff together. So it will, you definitely can do that also. And that just makes it a little bit easier to have more than one thing as long as it fits together, then you should be fine. And I'm just going to show you this next one. And these are just, again, just brief examples that I created. So if you don't really necessarily have an automated sign-up process or is not something you're really interested in, you can also just have your social media information showing there also, or just add it onto your process, right? Basically what it does is just shows your platforms. Now, our system, we have already Facebook and Twitter. It's going to show up in their feeds below. Here we have X, formerly known as Facebook, and we would have Facebook here, but this test board, I don't have it, but they would have it there. But if you don't have it connected, you have it here where they can just click and it will direct them right to your social media platforms where they can be able to go and follow you or watch whatever content you have. And
are any of those links working?
yes. So this would take us, for example, this would take them right to our YouTube landing page. And
do you want to become the best credit repair business?
So these ones, you see how that just goes right to it. If we go to LinkedIn, and I'm not sure if I'm signed in, but yeah, I would have to sign in, but it'll take them right to it. I don't know if I'm signed into. Yep. So I would have to sign in to go into the Score Inc. one, but all of them would just redirect them right to the profile where they can be able to see, your page and kind of, if they want to follow you, they can follow you then. So those are the ones I have as examples, Josh, on my behalf.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So does anybody have any questions? Almost, do we have any questions here?
Yeah, I can't see the questions anymore. Let me stop sharing my screen so you can share your, Josh, and then I can leave up with the questions.
Yeah, so we have one question here is, so only those that have ScoreCEO's software can use the banner? Yeah, this is a feature of the software within the lead and customer portal rows. So yes, or is this a separate product? No, this is not a separate product. It's a feature of ScoreCEO that we're explaining on this call how you can leverage that to go ahead and create more inbound and outbound traffic for both leads and customers alike. And we gave an example of TSR compliance, as well as the examples that Jasmine has given you. If you have any other questions around this, you can book a call with Jasmine, anybody on the call, and she can definitely walk you through this in a way that's a lot easier to understand than on a call, right? Where we're demoing things and there's a lot of concepts flying back and forth. Let's see what else. Chris is asking. Chris is asking if you use a different link from the one of credit card broker, does that replace the unattended process links, or is it in addition? I think I understand that question, but if you in your portal, in your banner, in your portal itself, right? Let me see if I can share my screen here. Yeah, so inside the portal here, if you change any of the links in the code in ScoreCEO, what happens is that you can add other iconery or other buttons to add more enhancements, or you can just activate a different banner and it'll immediately replace that. And Jasmine did that when she was demoing the different banners that weren't tied together. So that's what she means is that you can take those banners and you can put them all together and structure them differently in a way that's more aesthetically pleasing. And that, you need to be able to do that in HTML. We at Score have HTML developers. If it's something that we already have, we'll literally copy and paste it and replace the links into your portal. That's something similar that we did with Chris, and then we enhanced his ideas with some things that he wanted to do with regards to this flow, right? So yes, I hope I answered that question.
He can also add if he has the, creditcardbroker.com link or something. He can also merge it to this existing process, so he can have both.
Yeah, and that's what I mean about combining them, right? And how do you obviously a programmer needs to take the code from one banner and the other and combine it, then reaccommodate things so that they look good. A lot of these things you can probably use ChatGPT to you. That's how far advanced you are. Almas has made banners like that. I've made banners like that. Jasmine has made banners, but unfortunately, ChatGPT isn't your coder. That probably gets it right the first time and just has some minor tweaks. ChatGPT is something you have to be really careful on how you define your prompts with ChatGPT or any type of AI agent. What you do need to do is be specific as to how that's going to happen, right? And what you need as an outcome. And the more descriptive you are, and the better you define that system prompt, the better he does his job. But once again, if you may not, you may not need to do a lot of these things. The way that you'll know is just book a call with Jasmine. She'll go ahead and assess what you want to do. And if we've already done it, we'll just copy and paste it into your portal, and you're on your way, and give you some instructions, right? If not, if it's a little bit more complicated, and she'll let you know if there's any programming required for that, and if there's a cost associated for that. If you ask Chris, Chris can go ahead and tell you we charged them, I think was a whole bunch of $0, I believe, on getting some of this stuff done. Well, I didn't get that.
We have some more questions there also, that Josh.
Okay. We can have more than one or only one? You can have unlimited banners, D. You can have as many as you want, right? But you can only have one that's displaying at a particular point in time. So that's why we give you the ability, you can add to it or take away from it, right? Tim Sanders asks, has Elevate been able to do any before and after comparisons on conversions? That's a great question. Chris, I think is on the call. Yes, he is. Chris, you're on the call. If have you had a difference in your conversions?
I have to activate him as a speaker. Just give me 1 second so he can join.
Okay, while we're waiting for Chris to join, let's take some other questions here. We got Rosalure, have we reached the recording limit for your plan to record longer meetings? Explore other plans here. I don't know what that means. I don't think we have a limit on our this is a Teams call. That's the note taker.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, I can.
Hey, yeah. So to answer the question, once the client finishes the process, does everything so we can and schedules the phone call. I would say even if they don't schedule the call, but they, put their payment information in, sign the agreement, we've seen that the conversion rate's probably like over 90%. So pretty much once they've done that, they're almost good to go. I mean, the only cases where we've come across is sometimes we've told them we can't help them because they're just they have so much going on and it's not a good fit for them, or they just decide they don't have the money, so then that's just credit repair. But yeah,
So
but it's been pretty
has
high
your
conversion rate once they finish the process.
and has I think I know what Tim is alluding to here. I think Tim's and not just Tim. I've gotten this question quite a few times. Is that I think, are you doing less sales overall since you've implemented the process, or are
Yeah, I
you?
mean, it's
Go ahead.
the one thing I would also say is if we look at and we have a lot of test cases because we work with a very large builder, and that's a new account for us. So our sales have actually gone way up because of that very large builder account that we just landed. But if I just look at that, of the leads that we've gotten, we're converting probably about 35% total of those leads that come in from that builder. And that's, having them go through the process and everything. So I would say about, 35 to 40% of them, once they enter their information on the website, actually sign the agreement, enter their payment information to the point where we can give them a call. But overall, I would say it's about a 35% conversion rate, all in all.
All right. So what you're saying is that from let's say 10 leads that opt in, right, that you get from any of your referral agents or the website, you'd say about 35% of them actually go through the process, and then of that 35%, about a greater than 90% of that close because they're just
Yes.
vested by then.
Yes, I would say that's
Yeah.
fairly accurate. So if you had like 100 leads that came in that began the process by entering their information, then of those, probably 35 to 40 will finish the unattended process so we can get on the phone with them. And then of that 35 to 40, roughly 90% of them convert.
Yeah. And I think those are good numbers, Tim. And I think that's a fair statement because, they're vested by that time. Not only that, how does your partner like that? And I know we didn't prep you for these questions, but
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sure
it's, if I
how does your
asked
partner like the whole process?
the client overall, I don't know if they love the process, but one of the big questions that was a stumbling block to getting the deal done, to closing it to where they wanted to use us exclusively, was how are you getting around, not just the TSR, but the whole billing, the billing process with credit repair. How are you addressing that? So their legal wanted an answer to how we're basically handling the TSR process. Are we compliant? That was like one of their big questions. Like, okay, I was like, oh yeah, excited, get this done. And then, well, legal is asking, how are you getting around the compliance issues? I was like, oh, well, just so happens I've been working with Josh on getting all this done. And so here's everything that we've done to become compliant. And so that when I showed him, when I was able to show them on a call through a PowerPoint, what we've done, what we've implemented, their lawyers were satisfied with what we were doing to give the go ahead to move forward with this deal.
Yeah, we have a question here. I guess it's for you. How did you explain this to them when you start? Because when you got the how did you get when you got that partner? How did you explain your process to them? And did they already know about this as a partner? And were they
They did. I
asking?
wouldn't say they knew specifically about the TSR, but they wanted to know about billing upfront for clients for credit repair. And so that was the big question they asked, which is essentially the TSR. So they didn't say TSR, but they used the other verbiage, which is billing upfront.
Yeah,
Um, so that was the big question. But how I explained to them is like, hey, there's some new compliance regulations that have come up through the CFPB, and of course, once you say CFPB to the builders and the mortgage company, they know exactly who you're talking about. I don't have to explain who the CFPB is to those guys.
yeah,
So they knew right away once I said this is something that came up through the CFPB, and I explained to them what the TSR is. But then when I got down to doing this as a presentation for both the mortgage loan officers and the builder sales reps, I kept it much more simple than that. I just said, look, there's some new compliance and regulations that mean that we're not allowed to talk to the customer until they've completed these steps. Once they've completed these steps, then we're allowed to get on the phone with the customer. But before that, we can certainly talk to the customer via email. Or if you have questions and you want to give us a call, we can talk to you on the phone. There's no, um, there's nothing restricting us there. But in order for us to get on the phone with the client, they need to complete these steps. It was implementing it at first was a little bit of a headache. I would say we really kind of went live with this in January when sales are down anyway. So it really kicked off. Or no, in December is when we went live. And then in January is when we kind of started getting the leads. The first several leads that came in did not convert. None of them did anything. And it was very frustrating. But it was an educational thing. We got on several more calls to really explain to the loan officers and to the builder reps, you need to get the customers on board on reading that email. Once they get that email that says, thank you for signing up with us, they need to click on that email. They need to follow the instructions. My email's very detailed, point by point. Here's step one, here's step two, here's step three. I even put a flyer together that flyer goes out to the builder sites. Then that builder rep can then hand that flyer out to the client that tells them here are the steps that they need to do. And there's no phone numbers or anything on there. There's a QR code to take them to the portal page where they can enter their information, and that's it. So there was a lot of, kind of pushing to get them to do it the right way and explain it to the customer the right way, which is simply as open the email, read the email, follow the instructions. And then once they started
yeah.
doing that, our conversion rates have gone way up since.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying in a nutshell, to recap, is that you need for it to be successful. Implementing this is the first step, but during that, you also have to have buy-in from your partners, and or if you're just on a digital inbound strategy, you have to be very verbose, and very on purpose as to what the process is all the time, so that the customer doesn't get lost and doesn't get antsy, and they can be prepped by the partner before they even get to you.
Yeah, and if you can get that partner to do a lot of the work and get them to buy into it, I mean that helps so much.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest in that we're also within this with this mortgage company, they're side by side with another mortgage company that's part of their larger organization that's using another credit repair company to for their thing to kind of do a similar thing, and
Yeah.
they're not following the TSR, and I know that, and it is frustrating. But I'm hoping that we'll win out over because we're compliant in the end. And I'm just,
Awesome. That's great
being
news.
straight up with that. But I think in the end, they'll see that we're being compliant and we're still doing a great job for them.
That is awesome. I'm so happy for your success. Chris and I hadn't had the opportunity to really get the outcome to all of these endeavors that started back in November. And in December, he started implementing. January, we were tweaking back and forth. And I say sometime between December and January, he just started, trying to see what makes it work better. So Tim, your concerns and D, your concerns are valid, right? But I want you to think a bit differently. You can't compare with something that's unfair. Okay, so when I say unfair, I'm trying to be nice. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but everybody has to comply with this, not just certain credit repair organizations. It's not if he didn't implement this, there is no other option. His option was to leave the space or do something else, because he had to either be compliant or not. Would you say that's a fair assessment, Chris?
Yeah. And I've always thought that and because we just started doing this and we've only had a few clients that have even completed their first round, once I can start showing them success, then I can kind of start hitting back with, hey, getting the president of the company that I work with to go to the other presidents and say, that are doing this with other credit repair companies, you need to throw out to them, hey, I had to do this and make sure that my guy was compliant. How is your person compliant? And then once they do that and I can get a wedge in there, then hopefully I can use that to kind of take over the whole larger mortgage company that I'm working with.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. Yeah, this is great. Great feedback. Great feedback, Chris. I would suggest that once again, if you all need some help, thank you, Chris. I think
Mhm.
that's most of our questions on the call. There's another one. Do you expect the TSR rule to be affected by the recent changes in CFPB? I hope so. It would be so much easier, right? That's an unfair application of the rule for the credit repair space. That's my opinion. But absolutely. Yeah, Tim is cracking up. I think the whole CFPB is going to go under, but that's just my personal opinion. With the way Doge and President Trump are going through this whole process, I think the CFPB will be collateral damage. If that happens that way, we'll go back to working the same way we were before. But everybody on this call and most of our customers were all compliant. So we'll keep it compliant and copacetic. This is just I think it's an unfair way to really make it more difficult for the legal credit repair operations to do business. So my hope is that changes through the current administration. That's my hope. Before we go, I want to show you some housekeeping things here. Number one is if you've got any ideas, right? And it's too late because I know a lot of you are leaving the call right now. We have other things that we're gonna be probably doing, promoting events, right? Communicating critical client business issues. These are other ideas that we haven't implemented before, but we should be doing it soon for some other customers, right? Whatever your imagination can come up with within that realm of restraints that we have, we're willing to listen. So go ahead and email Jasmine, let her know, put it in the chat, let us know. But we want to know what your ideas are, and we want to drive our growth through your needs, right? So the future enhancements for this banner is, number one, we want to be able to schedule the banner, right? I want to be able to say, I want a banner to go up, for a month for Valentine's Day, right? And have a from and to date, right? Reset the initial banner to another banner after that range expires, right? Have the ability to reset to the original banner to another banner, right? So so it'll automatically, you can program that for the year and just add to it, but you don't have to take away from it, right? With regards to displaying different banners, right? Because right now we have to combine ideas into one banner, and that might be a lot for some customers if it gets too complicated. So maybe for leads we show one banner, right? And then a lot of those those things that we do for leads are going to be completely different than the ones that we're promoting for customers. So once they convert, we should have the ability, give the ability to our customers for the banners to also change automatically based on the status of the contact type. So if a lead changes to a paid consult or customer in ScoreCEO, that will be able to trigger a different banner to show up. And then we combine that with the dates. Now you have a pretty robust system that can not only promote things, but can also provide actions for them to take advantage of and make their life and your life a lot easier, thus keeping them on your program longer because you're giving them great customer service. If you have any other ideas, feel free to write us or let us know in the chat on how to improve that. Some housekeeping things with ScoreCEO. We've got a brand new website, ladies and gentlemen. So I'd like you to take a look at that. We've fixed a lot of the problems we had in our previous website, and we've combined all of our websites into one, and that continues to happen. So I'd like you to take a look at it. Our blogs are there. We're going to be integrating ScoreWayU a whole lot better in the future. But you can definitely start taking a look at it and taking advantage of the new videos and the blogs as well. We integrated credit repair business websites into the software. So if you want to change your website, or you don't, or you need an additional website, or don't have a website, we have ready-made websites that you can either lease or lease to own with us, and you can try them out with any of the themes that we have on the website, and it's done for you. But on top of that, we also have some marketing services that we're offering, which are SEO services. We weren't promoting that, but internally to our customers, we have a few of our customers that are taking advantage of this marketing strategy. But where we're focusing on is on-site SEO. So we basically take the content on your website, and locally we try to help it convert better locally, and therefore more keywords, and gets you in front of the actual audience you should be in front of. And we also do a bunch of other things as well. But fundamentally, we'll do SEO audits. We'll do blog authority marketing posting for you, so we can create credit repair blogs that are not these cheap blogs that we're doing. They're very robust, anywhere between 1,000 to 2,500 word articles that we can rank on probably one primary keyword and maybe 4 or 5 ancillary keywords, maybe more, depending on the type of article, right? But you can use that to become an authority marketer. This helps you if you're paying pay-per-click to decrease your cost of acquisition, because organically your customers are finding you a lot easier. We're also doing content creation and optimization. So we're using AI tools for that. We're using experience for that. And we're able to implement those services for you. We're even with that content creation and some of it, I believe we're doing some social media posting as well for some of our customers as well. So if you need any information on that, just reach out to Jasmine or reach out to Javier or Almas, and we can go ahead and coordinate a call. But we can do a lot of things. We can also provide brand books for you. We've done that for a few of you out there. That means that we create how to use the policies on how to use your logos, and make sure you have high res and low res images, right, for your logos, and make sure that there's no misuse of the brand, right? And we show you how to use colors. What are the exact colors? And we have samples of that and booklets that you can give those marketing guidelines to any of the marketing people that you hire to do great work for you, right? We also have paid search advertising, pay-per-click, and that's new. So if you guys need any of these services, right? Keyword research and strategy, on-site SEO optimization, authority, blog marketing, content creation and optimization, graphics and branding design, social media management, or paid search or pay-per-click management as well, we can handle that for you to help you drive your sales. So just get in touch with us either through Javier or through Almas or Jasmine, and we'll take care of that for you. We also have the outsourcing page directly built in. It's no longer in scoreinc.com. And if you go to Score Inc., it should be be doing a 301 redirect over to ScoreCEO. So we're going to keep only one active website up, not 5 or 6, which was very confusing for all of you. But you can see some of the nuances and the changes to that is going on with outsourcing. Take advantage of that. Well, you're spending time out building your own disputes. Anytime you spend on working in your business, you're not working on your business. And most of us at that level need to work on our business and not in our business. You can use all that time to go ahead and acquire more customers, which is a much more valuable thing to do than to produce a dispute. Let's see what else here. ScoreWayU. A lot of you are not subscribing to ScoreWayU. We are including that new page onto that page into the website or integrating it. That ScoreWayU page, I recommend that you subscribe to Customer Hub. It's free for most of you that are doing your disputes with us. And I mean the whole subscription. For a lot of you that aren't doing outsourcing with us, you might not have access to the whole subscription, but reach out to us, and we want you to be well educated, especially if you're doing well with us. We can probably give you access at no cost to that ScoreWayU University. There's over 100 hours of video with Robbie Birnbaum, with my ex-partner Joel Pate, with Mike Citron, with the Credit Repair Pros when they were just a $2 million company. Now they're a $30 million company. Save Credit Solutions interviews with them as well, which they left us and just came back and started using ScoreCEO again. They've got over 30,000 leads and customers in their portal right now. So we really, really want to help you all out, and any way we can through providing you the tools that you need to increase your sales and giving you the ability to maximize your compliance through the software and through processes. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for being on the call, and I guess we'll talk next month. But I want to let you know as well, Naxo, if you want to make a statement, join Naxo. You guys need to. Naxo needs your help. They need more responsible credit repair organizations. Go ahead and join Naxo. There's a $100 discount that you can use with that discount code. And you can get started for as many workers as you have in your business. And there's a certification that they can take that helps them talk about the same exact things. One thing in common that I mentioned 2 credit repair companies have, which were very large ones like the Credit Pros and Save Credit Solutions, as well as Score, we're all members of Naxo. And we always have been. So I would encourage you to do that. It's the only trade association in our space that actually has lobbyists that lobby and explain why things should not happen in a certain way. And when we did it, we got that TSR thing come down. So let's take advantage of that. That's all I have for you. Thank you. And we'll see each other on the next webinar. Have a great day.